Hey, welcome to the Explainer. So, picture this. You're just scrolling through a chat on your phone, and you're watching the conversation slowly, kind of painfully, lose its momentum. The replies are getting shorter, the gaps between them are getting way longer, until eventually, there's just no reply at all. Today, we're exploring a very quiet, yet profoundly uncomfortable psychological realization. It's that deep, often completely hidden fear that so many of us carry around, the fear of being completely, utterly replaceable.
It really begs the question, right? Do you feel like if you were to just disappear, people would just move on instantly? It's a pretty heavy thought. It's that subtle, quiet hesitation you feel when you're standing in a crowded room, and it seems like literally everyone else is moving and connecting, while you're just standing there, somehow fading right into the background.
And when that feeling really sets in, it usually leads straight to this core, incredibly painful thought. I'm replaceable. When those conversations fade out, or when you look at a group photo and realize you're standing just slightly off to the edge, this is the whisper that totally haunts the overthinking mind. It's that creeping suspicion that no matter how hard you try, others could just swap you out for someone else without missing a single beat.
So where does this feeling actually come from? Well, it rarely announces itself with a megaphone. Let's get right into section 1. Micro-triggers, the quiet catalysts.
Because it really doesn't take much, does it? We're talking about a delayed text reply when you're already feeling vulnerable, a really small, almost unnoticeable change in someone's tone of voice. Or maybe it's hearing your friends laughing from another room with someone else, or scrolling social media and seeing that someone chose someone else to hang out with, even just once. It literally only takes a tiny shift for the world to feel like it's losing all its color, quietly telling you that you just don't matter as much as you thought you did. And that brings us to the quiet dread that nothing would change. The fear we're unpacking in this explainer isn't loud at all. It doesn't look like a massive, dramatic falling out. It's just the slow, sinking feeling that if there was suddenly an empty chair in your place at the table, it wouldn't actually alter the group dynamic whatsoever. To really understand what's happening here, we need to move on to section 2, the psychology of convenience.
See, there's this massive internal battle happening in your mind. Your brain is basically trying to answer one major question by weighing two different sides. On the left, we have, am I needed? Like, am I truly important to these people? And on the right, we're just available. Am I just a convenience to them? When your anxious brain can't find consistent, undeniable proof that you are uniquely valued, well, it stops looking for it. Instead, to protect you from being caught off guard, it just assumes the absolute worst.
But why on earth does our brain default to that specific defense mechanism? Let's trace it back in section 3, the origin story.
You know, this feeling doesn't just start today. It usually goes all the way back to childhood. You probably weren't actively rejected, but you weren't exactly chosen first either. Your presence just felt optional. Fast forward to adolescence, and your developing brain takes those memories and learns a pretty dangerous lesson. Anyone can replace me. And that inevitably brings us to adulthood. As a functioning adult, you end up measuring your entire self-worth through your constant utility to others. You subconsciously believe you have to be immensely useful at all times just to be kept around. And that desperate need to be useful brings us to a highly structured yet totally toxic behavioral loop. Section 4, the overcompensation trap.
Here's how this cycle plays out. Step 1, you feel deeply insecure about your value to someone. So step 2, you overaccommodate. You make absolutely sure you're always available and you never say no, which leads to step 3, trying to become perfect and literally irreplaceable. But here is the kicker at step 4. Despite all that exhausting effort, you still feel unappreciated and easily replaced. By trying to be everything to everyone, you actually end up feeling like a convenient utility instead of a valued human being. This endless cycle of overcompensation creates what we call reality distortion. Your brain literally starts filtering your social reality just to confirm your own deeply held fears. Even when people do genuinely care about you, you struggle to actually feel it. A totally normal text might seem cold. The laughter of friends sounds distant. Your fear is effectively rewriting your reality, filtering out all the warmth just to confirm its own bias.
But here's the really good news. You are absolutely not stuck in this loop. Section 5, rewriting your reality.
Feeling easily replaceable is not the objective truth of your existence. It's simply a belief your brain created to protect you from disappointment. Somewhere along the line, your mind basically decided, hey, if I assume they're going to replace me, it won't hurt quite as much when they actually do. It's an emotional shield, but it's an illusion. It is absolutely not a reflection of your actual worth in the real world.
Which brings us to this profoundly beautiful reframe. You were never meant to be irreplaceable to everyone, just real to the right people. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. The goal isn't to become so perfectly accommodating that no one can live without you. The goal is to drop the act, stop trying to be the universally convenient person, and just be genuine. Your true worth doesn't come from your utility, it comes from your authenticity.
So to wrap up our explainer today, I really want to leave you with this provocative question. Are you measuring your worth in the wrong places? If what we talked about today felt uncomfortably accurate, please remember this. You are not invisible. You just learned a pattern. And the most empowering part of psychology is that once you understand the pattern, you can finally stop believing it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I hope it helps you see your own worth just a little bit more.